How much should the innovation budget of an organization be? That's always a fun question. There are a lot of statistics out there, and companies who say it need to be X percentage. I can't tell you an exact percentage. For me, it's more about what is the goal of the organization, what is the ambition of the organization and the CEO and the leadership team of that organization, where they want to be. Linking that to the goal again, if we have these two extremes, do you want to keep stable, which means yes, we focus a little bit on improving our core offer, our core products, and do this on an ongoing base, more like day-to-day improvement, and they call it innovation from a definition perspective. That requires different budget than if you go for disrupting the total business model. Different approaches, different budgets needed. So if we take this into examples, if we go, let's go for the disrupting part. If you want to disrupt and put an innovation engine attached to the business, so it's a small team, let's say 5 people connected to the business, they still are employed in the company, but they're on the side, and they kind of get a 2-year assignment and finding out how to disrupt the business model and prototyping that in an ongoing base. What I would do is I would put them into startup mode. I would not cancel their salaries, but I would reduce their salaries to a minimum and then build a profit model. So they need to run this small engine as a startup, because if they focus on designing it as a business, it will help them to build a business. If they just get all the wealth of the big core business or larger core business or smaller core business, they're fed well, so they get a nice salary, they drive cars, they get a huge budget for marketing, for all these other things, which is not normal in the external world. So if you are a startup, you're constrained by everything. So you need to build in constraints from the beginning for this engine to be successful in the long run. I know that you might imagine that you give them a budget of 5 million and they will come up with nice ideas, but they all live in this safety bubble. If you truly want to disrupt the business model, they need to find ways of increasing this business, these opportunities they do, in a way that they can finance themselves. And if they are able to do this over a longer period of time, they will find a profit model that slowly is able to take over the core business in the long run. Because if you want to disrupt your business model, the new business model need to be more profitable than the old one. If not, it doesn't make sense to swap the business model, or it will be just an additional offer, which can be the part. So not necessarily all the things the, let's say, disruptors team will work on will be a huge disruption. Maybe they have a feed into the core business where they say, hey, this we thought is a disruptive thinking, but it's not. So we feed it into the core business, and they can then take it to improve their core business structures. So I think there's a key part of linking that as well. From a budget, as less as necessary, as less as possible. So it's really important to do that. If you then take the core business, then it's more like a team that's supporting the core business to innovate. It really depends on what is the industry, how capital intensive is building innovation in that industry. Is it very scientific based? Is it more process based? Is it human based? So it really depends on what that is. So I can't say what is an exact figure. For me, key again, if you work with the core team that's supporting the core business to develop and innovate on a day-to-day base, focus on enabling the whole organization. So then you spread as well the monetary aspect, which means budget needed.